Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Hakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone rule well, as well as double honor to their elders. Peace and blessings to 144,000 pushing this word with all truth and sincerity, as well as peace and blessings to all the believers of Yahweh Shai. Just want to do a quick hit lesson going into, order out of chaos. So Lord wanted to be edifying and to the point. I didn't even know this was the motto for the 33rd degree Masons, but it had popped up, so I just typed it in and said, what's the motto of the 33rd degree Masons? It says, the mottos associated with the 33rd degree of Freemasonry are Ordo ab Chaos, Order from Chaos, and Dos, whatever that says. God in my right, but we focused on this Order ab Chaos because this is the plans of Esau Edom, because most of the people in our government, they deal with this, the masonry or whatnot. They want order from chaos, so chaos gonna have to ensue, and that's how they're gonna bring out the new world order into fruition, So and it's much chaos to be started here in Babylon the Great with all the government shutdown, the whole SNAP benefits funding, as well as these ICE raids and whatnot. The FB come out and report says FBI warns of criminals posing as ICE in robberies and kidnappings. So this is this is nothing but hell we're living in. People are woke to it and they turning up. And it's only going to get worse. So let's read a little bit into this because I said, is the government shutdown over? It says the government shutdown is not over as of November 10th, 2025, and its ongoing status is negatively impacting AI development, yada yada yada. Anyways, the government's still not opened up, but they talking about they reached a deal or whatnot, but that's still gonna take some time to go through the House and then get the president to sign it. If his ass even fucking sign it. So they just playing with the minds of the people, and as prophecy says, they're gonna the people are gonna revolt. Job 20 and 22. Every hand of the wicked is gonna come upon them. And that wicked is talking about the laborers. People are getting ready to revolt against this government. And as I showed in one of my recent lessons, let's see if I can pull it up on Google. Let me see. See if I can get a. Let's click on this. Nope. It's talking about fucking Black Friday deals, like blackout the system, general strike. Yeah, I didn't even know they had a website put up for it, but here it is. People already getting ready to to black out the system. And what's gonna come from this, man? It's gonna be chaos coming out of this shit. Let's read. People saying they're not going to work. Let's read it. The mass blackout November 25th through December 2nd, and this is this is basically the week that kids not gonna be in school and shit. So I'm like, man, y'all pussies, just do it right now. Don't wait till the kids get out of school. The kids gonna be in it anyway. We're entering the times of Jacob's trouble, man. It's gonna be a lot of death. Why wait until they 1 week they out of school? What's gonna happen after this? You going back to school, man? Lord willing, chaos ensues, and then ain't no turning back. Until Esau wants to implement the chip, which is the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip. But it says November 25th to December 2nd. It's not left versus right. It's up versus down. You see the billionaires versus the poor people. It says their strength is our spending. No spending, no streaming, no restaurants, no travel, no work. Stay home. No backing out. And we'll see how this turns out. I guess I'll put this in the description box. You can go to this website for yourself. I'll probably check it out even some more. 50 states participating, 48 countries supporting, 50 plus million engagement activity, 100% committed team. So people are ready to turn up against the government that's set in place. On the, has SNAP been funded? Another question I asked Google, and it says SNAP, the foolishness the program is facing a funding crisis. So basically, no, they haven't completely funded it yet. You know, it talks about certain states are getting funding, but as a whole, from that 42 million, the number that said that's on the SNAP hasn't got funded. So that's another thing that's gonna turn the people up, to start looting or whatnot. Hey, people are gonna feed their kids. They're gonna find a way. They ain't about to just sit back. And if you got food bank crisis going on. People going to food banks. All the federal workers who's not getting paid, who can't pay their rent, they hitting up the food banks. Let me see. Let me Google that. Let's see. Not see in the news. Workers on overseas U.S. bases go without pay, as some are directed to food pantries. Even you got the military overseas. You gotta go to a fucking food bank because they're not getting paid. Uh, Snap freeze overwhelmed Austin area food banks before partial restoration. So for these food banks again, um, how did it say? Overwhelmed. And this is all across the states. So let's get into this because this was the main thing I want to bring out. This whole the FBI report of ICE. Let's see. Let's click on this one. FBI warns from ABC 7 Eyewitness News from November 6, 2025. FBI warns of people impersonating ICE agents to commit violent crimes. And I'll play this video of this guy here from TikTok. He's been already hip to this. The thought already came across his mind. Like, what if this? Because they don't say who they are. Most of the times they're not in police gear or whatnot. Just like some gear you can find. They in regular clothes, some shit like this. Masks. They ain't saying nothing. And so, like, what the hell? What's going on? Are these regular people? And lo and behold, yes, it is. Esau Edom found the perfect opportunity for his ass to be even more of a devil. And go out and just steal women and children and do whatever the hell they doing with them. This is a time like never before. Things only gonna get worse. Let's play this guy. Probably like 2 or 3 minutes of him talking about it. And this is from October 4th when he was talking about this. So let's play it.
Confused as to how that works, right? Like, look at how I am confused as to how that works, right? Like, look at how Melissa Hortman was assassinated, right? He impersonated a police officer, right? And then they'll allow ICE agents to wear masks and not identify themselves and do all of these crazy things, not show any paperwork or shit like that. So the person who killed Melissa Hortman obviously didn't have any paperwork. They were impersonating a police officer, right? So if we are aware of this happening literally this year, when a supposed ICE agent shows up and claims to be a part of the federal government and all this shit, but hey, you can't see my face. I'm not telling you my identity. I'm not going to show you any warrants, any court orders or anything like that, but I am going to grab you and take you away and use force to do so. And then if you're aware of the Melissa Hortman situation and some ICE agent comes at you and you defend yourself because you don't know what the fuck to believe, now you face consequences because you don't know if this is an actual ICE agent or somebody like the person who killed Melissa Hortman and her husband and shot her fucking dog.
That's the point I'll play from there. People, it's uncertainty with the people, and lo and behold, the FBI warrant of this. These articles from 3 days ago, just yesterday and 1 day ago, ICE shot at in Chicago. Let's click on one of these articles. It's ABC 7 Chicago from November 9th, 2025. 3 days after the FBI warrant, it says shots fired at Border Patrol agents during immigration operation in Little Village. DHS says. Let's play her talking about it.
They believe there were several reports of immigration operations across the Little Village today, and this led to some very tense moments between community members and business owners. Immigrant advocates say they believe 6 people were detained.
All you want to do is, protect everyone who's in here. And you almost feel like, for instance, for me, I feel helpless.
Michelle Macias says this is the second time federal agents have come to Carniceria y Taqueria Aguascalientes in Little Village in recent weeks. Surveillance video from the store shows Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bobino walking in with masked federal agents this morning. Macias says agents came to buy a drink and were denied service.
There were about 10 agents that walked in here, and our cashier that was working in the morning, she told them, like, you need to get out. When Bibino was outside, my dad was telling him, like, get off of my property.
A few feet away on 26th and Kedzie, chaotic moments played out. A crowd gathered after federal officers allegedly detained a young woman. Cell phone video captures Bobino with a tear gas canister in his hand. The Department of Homeland Security says Border Patrol was carrying out immigration enforcement in the area when an unknown male driving a black Jeep fired shots at agents and fled the scene. An unknown number of agitators also threw a paint can and bricks at Border Patrol's vehicles. 25th Ward Alderman Byron Siccho Lopez says cell phone video recorded by a bystander shows a different story.
It's very clear. They came out of the vehicles, pointed weapons, and they used tear gas at people.
In the chain of events, a Chicago police officer who had been called to the intersection for crowd control was hit by a car. He was taken to the hospital to be treated. Over at 26th and Pulaski.
Damn, as you can see, increasingly people are not giving a damn about the people that's in authority, as the scripture says. You know, let's get it. 2nd Ezra 15. Make sure my mic on. 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Destruction. You know, war is coming. It says, for the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So sedition is on the rise, you know, more and more every day. You know, things aren't going to get better for America. Things are going to get more lawless, you know, as people can see that the people in authority don't give a damn about the law. You know, they're protecting these pedos or whatnot, you know, and the people are fed up. They done with it. You know, the whole government shut down just to protect you know, these damn billionaires who like to touch on children, you know. So people are ready. They're done. You know, they're done with just sitting back idle and watching people get abducted and whatnot, you know. And that's the way it should be, you know. Lord willing, more of it comes, you know. So for there to be sedition among men, sedition means, you know, violent uprising and overthrow against the, you know, government or authority that's in place. It says, in invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes. They don't give a damn about the police, ICE, what the president say, what the executive order, whether it's martial law or not. People are about to get ready to be, you know, crazy. You know, as this one comment I was reading right here said, is given the purge. And that's exactly what Donald Trump wants, you know, a damn purge to happen. Let me Google what he said. He didn't say it that way, but oh yeah, now he did say it. Let's play it. One really violent.
They gave me notice. They said we're gonna have. They gave me notice. They said we're gonna.
What is this from? Let's see.
They gave me notice.
If it load up, I'm trying to see when was this posted. It was in Pennsylvania. I guess it was on this campaign trail.
They said we're gonna have to close because the shelves. They literally, the people walk in. They just take everything they want. They walk.
October 1st, 2024. Let's Slovakia. Let me play it all the way through this time.
They gave me notice. They said we're gonna have to close because the shelves. They literally, the people walk in. They just take everything they want. They walk out of the store. What the hell is going on? See, we have to let the police do their job. And if they have to be extraordinarily rough. Now, if you had one really violent day, like a guy like Mike Kelly, put him in charge, Congressman Kelly, put him in charge for one day. Mike, would you say, he's right here, he's a great congressman. Would you say, Mike, that if you were in charge, you would say, oh, please, don't touch them. Don't touch them. Let them rob your store. Let all these stores go out of business, right? They don't pay rent. The city doesn't have money. It's a chain of events that's so bad. One rough hour, and I mean real rough, the word will get out and it will end immediately. They gave
One rough hour, you know, it means real rough. You know, this is the cruel Lord that's spoken of in Isaiah the 19th chapter. But you know, I'll put that in the description as well. Let's get to Revelation 11, not 11, Revelation 13, because you know, this damn devil is speaking as a dragon now. You know, Revelation 13 and 11, it says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon." These two horns like a lamb, represents well, that beast is talking about America. Two horns like a lamb, the Republicans and the Democrats, which is, nothing but a photocopy of what they had in the ancient Roman Empire of, the plebeians and the patricians, And so the two horns like a lamb is speaking, a lamb is docile, and that's how these Republicans and the Democrats come, to their constituents, the people that vote for them. They tell them exactly what they want to hear, being docile and whatnot. But people are noticing, two as the saying goes, two wings of the same bird. Hey, two horns, same lamb. But it says, and he spake as a dragon, as you see Trump saying, calling for back in 2024 and call for one rough day against against these looters or whatnot. That word dragon is dracon. G1404 dracon. I'm gonna get in etymology, give you a better definition for it. But it goes back to the let's get it. I don't wanna mangle it. Dracon or Draconian, 1759. It says of or pertaining to Draco, the ancient Greek statesman, in reference to laws rigorous, extremely severe or harsh. And what did Trump say? He said really. I mean really rough.
It's so bad. One rough hour, and I mean real rough, the word will get out and it will end immediately.
And this is what the American government is going to. It's gonna get so bad that they're gonna guillotine is gonna be back. People are gonna be heads are gonna be rolling. For not bowing down to this image and not taking this man's mark, which once again the mark is the RFID microchip. So continuing on with this definition, it says Draco is the Latinized form of Greek dracon. As it says in the scripture. Go back to it right quick. Dang it, I must have. Salakia. I must have X'd it out or something. We'll use this one. Go back to Revelation 13. Revelation 13 and 11, that word for dragon, dracon, as you can see. Draco is the Latinized form of Greek dracon, name of the archon of Athens who laid down a code of laws for Athens that mandated death as punishment for minor crimes, and that's where it's gonna come to. And they gonna push you not taking that chip, that's a minor crime. It's gonna be death mandated for, Revelation 20 and 4. So let's go. Let me see. While still on reading this, and that was all I had really. I'm gonna make it a long lesson. Just want to hit on, the American people are fed up. It's more sedition on the rise. Nobody's gonna give a damn about whether you identify yourself or not. It's gonna come to that point. They don't care if you identify yourself in badge numbers. There's gonna be bullets flying. So I'll read this again. 2 Ezra 15 and 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. Because at time and point, it's gonna come down to, they're gonna have blockades and roadblocks or whatnot. You can't get to this city, you can't go there. Shit, it's gonna get to a point. A 15-minute city. I just said you can't leave this certain area within the city. And then you want to get to the next area, you're gonna need to have that chip, or a certain amount, social credit score. If your credit score is too low, well, you can't even access this area. It's a movie that's like that. I forgot what the name of it, but Esau puts these things in their movies. Verse 18 it says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And all that's on the rise, trouble and famine. Great tribulation, as it says. People are not going to care about one another at that time, Shit, parents not going to care about their kids, When you take food away from people, hey, they lose it. They lose their wits. They're not gonna have that mental fortitude about them. Shit, people gonna be eating their children and babies. Once again, it's happened in the past. It's gonna happen again. You know, history is gonna repeat itself. But the elect is gonna be safe and fear from evil, as the scriptures say, during these troubling times. You know, time like never before. Let's end it here in Proverbs, the first chapter. And Proverbs 1 and 32, it says, "For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, turning away from Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, turning away from this knowledge, this wisdom, understanding, and not choosing to fear the Heavenly Father, you know. That's going to be your destruction." It says, and, you know, speaking of two-thirds of our people, it says, "And the prosperity of fools shall destroy them." And this prosperity that you have now, you know, enjoying it and living here in Babylon, wanting to stay here, that's gonna destroy you. You know, being wanting to be hand in hand with this damn devil. You know, wanting to see America flourish and build a community here. You know, this not our rest. You know, so for the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. So turning back unto Yahweh by Shem Yahushai and dwelling in his secret place, Psalms 91. You know, this truth. And we're gonna be safe. We're gonna dwell safely and be quiet from fear of evil. You know, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is gonna take care of our needs. You know, during this time of trouble. Not to say we're not gonna go through nothing, but our faith is gonna be tested and perfected, man. No matter what we go through, you might be in prison, be tried in prison, you know, into death. You know, they'll be faithful unto death. You know, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we got the victory, man. You know, death is not gonna stop us, you know, from receiving that immortality. You know, the gift of Yahweh Shai. You know. So I'm ending right there, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Chakwadash, double unto the apostle and elders of great millstone who ruled well. Peace and blessings to 144,000, pushing his word without truth and sincerity. Shalom.